Hey guys, welcome back to Clockwork down to Noodles. We're here for another breakdown of my dress up darling. This is already episode 5. The anime season is starting to move very quickly. Very shortly, I'm going to bring you my midway review. People seem to like these ones where I crown my top 3 anime so far. I will tell you my top 3 OPs and EDs and my general thoughts because there's some very interesting thoughts that I want to discuss with you in that video. Just little things, and I'm really excited to start getting that together because I think I've got my rankings already fixed. I just need to find some time and record. Those videos do take an entire day of actual work, getting all those pictures together, making sure it all runs, recording chunks, so I record it in 3 bits and then put it all together, but that's going to come your way very shortly. Make sure you guys are subscribed. That is the best way of knowing when the video goes up because I don't tend to plan it. I attempt to have it done by about episode 6 for all the airing animes, but obviously animes come out at different times, so it will probably be in the next few weeks, but making sure you're subscribed does help the channel as well. That is probably the biggest thing. Let YouTube know that people are interested in what I do. There's a Discord channel too that lets you have a notification straight to your phone whenever I release any content. I apologize for the slight delay on this video. I was actually in the cinema watching anime. I was late because of anime. I think that's the best excuse. I had the opportunity to go and see Belle in the cinema. I've seen the Japanese version. I wanted to see it in English as well. Also, look at my impromptu cosplay. I literally put it together in a few hours at 3 in the morning. Just really wanted to have my own Belle going. Because this is Dress Up Darling, I'm allowed to show you cosplay. This is my Belle costume. I'm so happy, and I like the filter that's being used at the moment. Guys, I think it's time to go to con. I haven't been to con in many years, so will you guys come with me and we will talk about our experiences at the con that we go to with our main characters in the anime. First things first, we get the second side of the word cosplay. Cosplay breaks down into costume and play. This week we get to focus on the second half of that word, the word play. We end up taking photos, and it's an aspect that people sometimes can not be good at, or some people are very good at. Some people don't have the costume skills, but they're very good at getting into character. It's all about the pictures, and me showing you my Belle pictures earlier, that's all part of the play aspect as well. Getting into character, trying to channel your inner Belle or trying to channel your inner Shizuka. Picture section these two guys have at the start is very nice because it just elaborates that there's more to costume than just making a costume. Nothing is more exciting than being able to have that first cos test, being able to take some pictures, show people online, see what people think, gauge the opinion, and also see yourself as a character that you really like. I was screaming when I put that filter on and I actually looked kind of like Belle. I was really happy. It just didn't give me the blue eyes. But absolutely kudos to Gojo for actually asking for more in-character shots. People might ask for certain scenes. If you are lucky and you're doing a certain character, some of them might ask for a specific scene. Hopefully it's nothing that you're uncomfortable with. If you are uncomfortable, do state it. Don't let yourself be forced into doing anything at con. As much as we focus on the positives of con this week, and there's a few PDSAs at the end, make sure you're safe. I've seen police dragging people out of cons before. There's been a few bomb threats. There's been a few negatives as well. Don't let this put you off going to con, but make sure you are playing it safe. We get to see the first cosplay test in the apartment, taking pictures of the costume. Generally, how cosplay tends to go is you will take a cos test first, where you'll do a trial run of the makeup, see how long things take. Do a cos test because it lets you know, I should wake up at 8 in the morning, give me an hour to get changed. Some cosplays take 4 hours plus to put on if it's a lot of prosthetics going on. So making a cos test at home in your own environment, you get pictures and you get to mess around with your makeup. You can then book a shoot. There's a lot of people nowadays who will collaborate. Make sure you're careful of who you book. Or you can go to a con like we do this week and you can get your own pictures and arrange shoots if your cosplay is good enough. I don't tend to get so lucky on people wanting to take pictures, so that's the sad thing for me. But if you're lucky enough, people will ask to take pictures. Make sure you have a cosplay card as well so people can email you the pictures. You can at least take their card to find your pictures after the con. Cosplaying is just fun. Can't wait to get back to it again. But yes, guys, it's been absolutely years. My first event, if you're in the UK, is going to be in April. Can't say yet because they haven't actually announced me, but I'm going to be a guest. I have been invited as a guest to show up to the con, where I will get to judge the parade. So I'm very excited to get my hands back into the cosplay world, see everybody's hard work up close. I've got a cosplay shoot actually booked this coming week with Uriko-sama from Lull in the Sea. really excited as well. But let's go to con, guys. Together we're going to go to con, and I'm going to give mega kudos for the anime for catching just little things. The atmosphere was fantastic. There's always steampunkers. There's always somebody dressed in steampunk. There's always people just taking pictures somewhere. When Marine actually says, let's go to the plaza quieter over there, and there's photographers hanging around, there will be photographers hanging around outside in the quieter areas, in the more scenic sections. The background of the halls doesn't make for a good picture. If you want good pictures and you want a break, go outside, find a nice shaded spot. You will see people taking pictures. I like the fact that we had a nod to Artist Alley. Go to Artist Alley and support people and local creatives. And of course, there's just people generally chatting, getting excited, exchanging details. Always be careful though, because I've got some negative stories to tell about con. Make sure you're careful. Don't just add random people that you haven't even mentioned. If you are talking to a certain person, grab their attention there and then, get their details, but don't just randomly put up your details and get loads of random invites from people you don't even know. Another thing the anime gets right is the cosplay boyfriend who holds the girlfriend's bags. There's always a guy or a friend who is holding all the bags, who doesn't want to be in cosplay or anything, and the girl is just going around getting all the pictures. Marine is me. Every first event is this level of excitement. Finally seeing living anime characters walking around, going around, seeing how many anime characters you can name, trying to guess every single cosplay in anime. That's something I really enjoy, and I get so hyped to see, especially my favourite characters, just there in the flesh in front of me. Be polite. A lot of these events are open to minors. These events are open to kids. Suggestive cosplays are technically discouraged. There's a lot of discouragement from just simply walking around in bikinis. Be aware that there's going to be kids running around. Please don't grope yourself in public. Please don't do what Marin does. YouTube really doesn't like the suggestive sections. I've got to be very careful with this anime. As much as I love this anime, I also have to be very careful with this anime. All little tiny tips from someone who's been to years and years of cons. This is also my reaction when somebody actually wants to take my picture. It doesn't happen very often. As well, somebody who actually knows who your character is. That is the highest honor. This is also the perfect reaction. It's the highest honor to me. If you ever do see me at a con and you ask for my picture, even though I might not say very much, inside I am squealing and very, very happy and honored to have a picture taken by you. As always, I say, make sure you've got a cosplay card. It allows you to get your pictures after the event, and also it allows you to communicate with people. If you want a photographer later down the line, you have all those cards and you can book a shoot with them at some point, I'm sure. So make sure you are communicating, bringing cards as well. These events are full of fun. Obviously, during this event, Gojo is starting to panic because he knows that this is it. This is the event. The costume is done. Are they still going to be friends now that the con is done? Of course there is. This anime's still not half done. Of course, we were going to have more to it. But I'm so happy because glad that she is still respectful of Gojo. If she panics when she can't find him and she wants to make sure that he's there and he's okay. Always in eye shot of him. I appreciate this because some people can let it get to the heads. They ditch the people holding the bags and they'll find them later. And you need to be respectful for the people who are supporting you. This is nearly the midway episode. So we're starting to ask those big questions. What's going to happen next? It's cosplay fever. I was aware that you can't just do one cosplay once you're in, once you enjoy it, once you're immersed. It's very difficult to leave. You always want to make something, even if it is 3 o'clock in the morning and you really want to make a headdress for Belle. But this is also the con that makes Gojo realise how much that he is thankful for Marin taking the time to talk to him and express a hobby. And he's just thankful for also being involved. And he starts to realise that he maybe has feelings for her because we had that moment when she is just so happy. She turns around and she sees him and it's just the ultimate happiness on her face. A great hobby that allows people to see themselves in different lights, see themselves in different roles. Gojo seeing Shizuka so happy, also looking that pretty. Definitely a perk of cosplay in general. Now let's talk about the PDSA moments because all cons must be taken seriously. As much as they are great fun, we do have to take care. Cosplay breaks are vital. It's usually heels or corsets and wigs that force people to take breaks. Many people having to take a break. I often bring a comfy pair of shoes or I just go barefoot and sit down for a little bit. Thick fabrics, thin fabrics in winter. It's always the way. I always find that I do a big costume with heavy fabrics in the summer and I always seem to do something a bit skimpy in the winter. I don't know why I can't reverse it and why I can't get it lined up, but back in the day I used to have qualifiers in May, so my bigger costume would actually be in summer. And then I would chill out and have fun in October when I was just watching something. Often enough, I didn't have a big costume on at that point. These are all things that you will learn as you go. The more times you go to con, the more you'll prepare better for it. I have a big list that I often go through, and most of the time I've been going to con so much, I know the tricks of the trade, but it's very easy for people who are new to not really be aware of this, and that's why we almost have the heat stroke moment. That heat stroke is something that you should be very, very aware of. I remember going to a convention finals in France. It was over 40 degrees, and that's a lot for someone who comes from the UK. Even like the UK, we don't really have aircon. All you guys in the US and your aircon units, we don't really have that. I was wearing heavy armor. It was hot, and it was getting so hot that my armor was made out of a thermoplastic, so it was starting to warp. That thing isn't supposed to melt or warp until it hits a certain degrees, so it was that hot. The area I was in like a mini greenhouse, really focusing that sun's rays down onto your costume. Wigs as well, being very careful. Wigs do cause irritation. If you wear them long enough, you might actually get a skin rash at the top of your forehead. I've had that. I also find if I wear them for too long, the wig will clamp down and give me a headache because it feels like it's pushing on my temples. Always make sure you are hydrated, and that generally tends to be the role of, if you're lucky enough to have a bag boy or someone who's there in just normal costume, to have the drinks, making sure you're drinking at all times. Heat stroke is something that should be taken seriously, and you can get it when you're wearing costumes. YouTube doesn't like the suggestive section, so we're really going to skip over it. Continue talking PDSA. Just make sure you stay hydrated, guys. Also make sure that you go to the toilet and do all of this stuff that is done on the staircase in an actual dressing room. I know she couldn't walk anymore, but they should have at least attempted to walk her to her nearest bathroom or something. Mega kudos to the rules that we see hanging on the wall. No flashing accidentally. Bear in mind it's a kid-friendly environment. Asking for photos, very important. Don't touch people without consent. If you are in the UK, and I think it's spreading to the US, we have a movement, and that movement is cosplay is not consent. Just because you see a cosplay character and the character might be someone who's not wearing a great deal, it doesn't give you consent to touch anybody. You have to be respectful at all times. Very nice to see stuff like that being advertised in this anime in particular. There's also a cultural difference I note at the end as well. We see our guys out of their costumes and they're on the way home. In the UK, it's actually perfectly fine to wear your cosplay on the train to get home. I was told, now I don't know the accuracy of this, but one of my friends went to a Japanese con. You are not allowed to really wear your costume outside of the event. So most people will get to the convention, they will dress up, be provided with dressing rooms and things, and then once you're done at the con, you undress and then you don't cause any fuss on the public transport. Anime ends with cosplay fever. Once you've done one cosplay, you want to make many. And when she says, I've got like 50 main characters I want to do, same girl. At one point, my list was at 200 characters, bigger now. And I don't have time to do it all. I just gather characters. I will see something I like and I'll add a character to it. Whether eventually I get to it or not, I don't know. There's many, many characters that I would like to do at some point, and you can't stop once you're in the cosplay world and you're having fun and you're really enjoying it. You just want to make more and more things. At the end, we also see something that a lot of cosplayers experience, the need for better materials. Gojo wants a sewing mannequin because it's better for him. Obviously, he's working on a small scale of dolls. If he's going to make more costumes, he's going to have a sewing mannequin that is preferably to her size as well. It'll make it easier for him to have the costume there. He can see it in front of him. It makes it easier to sew as well. I have one, but I haven't changed it in many years, so sadly my sewing mannequin is a little bit small. I need to update it and get a different size. Lockdown's been hard, guys, okay? The end moment when Gojo, in his very tired, honest state, calls Marin beautiful, and obviously he said he doesn't like throwing the word beautiful around very often, just showing you, A, he's extremely tired, and B, they are really getting close. He really appreciates the time that they spent together, and he's also over the moon to know that he's not just being thrown aside now that one costume's done. They're not going to pull apart. They have a reason to continue talking to each other. I just hope that Gojo, because he's so focused on helping Marin do her thing, I want to make sure that he doesn't put his own needs and his own wants aside because he wants to be a doll maker. So I really hope that he gets time to focus on his craft as well, and it doesn't get thrown aside trying to make somebody happy, and I hope there's a balance that is struck. I really enjoyed today's episode. It's very rare that I get to talk about con with people. This is an anime that I'm really enjoying just to allow myself to talk to you guys, be a bit open with you. So I think these videos run a bit more general. They're not as specified on the anime itself. I tend to talk about most of the points. I'm definitely interjecting a lot more personal bits into this video. This may or not be up your street. At least you know it's just this anime in particular I'm able to do this with. If you want more in-depth videos, The Rose King is getting a lot of attention. It actually seems to be performing the best out of all the animes I'm doing. Despite the fact that it's got the lowest score online, it is actually the one that I get a lot of views from, whether that's because I'm doing a more historical breakdown, I'm giving you guys some actual history facts, guidance to what's going on, because it's a very heavy and a very twisted plot because it's Shakespeare. It's complicated. That seems to be doing the best. But thank you guys again for tuning in. Your support really does mean everything. Have a good day, and if you haven't seen Belle yet, make sure you get a chance to see it at some point. It's definitely worth your time. Bye bye, guys.